Hi guys, welcome back to the channel on a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. As you know, a few weeks ago I pulled this guy and I put him up to rank 5 fairly quickly to the Mephisto kind of boss rush thing. I did a video where I'm completely messed up on a live stream and thought, well, I need to get back up on the horse and kind of learn a bit more about using Iceman because I kind of sucked with using him. And I think that's the whole purpose of getting new characters, is learning lessons and improving the way that you play moving forward. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest player in the world, but I have learned a few things with regards to the way the character kind of operates and the whole thing about cold snap and kind of immunities and non-immunities and things like that that make him just completely unique to the Marvel Contest of Champions universe. Just quickly doing a nod to comic book history, this guy is an Omega level mutant. So Bobby is an Omega level mutant, and that means that he is more powerful than certain other mutants in the X-Men franchise, so to speak. There's kind of parallels you could say with regards to Magneto on kind of like a, if you put him on a platform and kind of like say where you'd have Magneto, you'd have him. And then Phoenix would either be on top or come to the side. I think he should probably be more powerful. Depending on what kind of level of heat that Phoenix could reach, it's very, very difficult to pinpoint what is Bobby's melting point. And that is going to be a very difficult one. A lot of people will say, well, not technically. He could withstand Sunspot. He could withstand a lot of other kind of fire-based mutants, especially characters like Pyro. So there's a lot of things going for Bobby and as well his Iceman alter ego. Let's quickly talk about attributes, and yeah, block proficiency 64%, pretty darn substantial, especially compared off with, say, the tech kind of range. Tech class is usually very high in block proficiency percentage, so it's good to see a high percentage there, and it's really showing, especially going hand in hand with ice armor, and you then pad that with armor rating. Armor rating is pretty mediocre, but it's made up for with ice armor, which is based into the champion's owner kind of abilities and stuff that he does. The other thing is that critical damage rating is 180%, and then we've got critical rating of 23%. So these aren't high stats, but 180 on the critical damage rating is still pretty good, and that we'll definitely see that in the gameplay coming up. Obviously, one thing that's really great is Absolute Zero, the signature ability of the champion. So with a cold snap active, dealing 1031 energy damage over 12 seconds. Obviously, this is just a level 1. I've not gotten any signature stones to kind of get this guy up further, but obviously we would see a definite increase in that energy damage. So I'm really looking forward to getting that a lot higher at the point we're adding in cold snap. So you're not going to see a significant amount of damage. Obviously, other players have got much higher signature ratings for their Iceman, so you're going to see some like a crazy amount of damage. So we're just going to see some damage, not amazing damage. Full immunity to incinerate, bleed, and poison effects, which is still pretty cool. I do like that aspect. Obviously, the idea behind the ice strength is there in such a degree that it's like, oh, definitely avoiding bleeding. You kind of think in that ice form he's not gonna be able to be bled. The same thing with poison effects. Again, if you consider that well, poisons need a certain degree of heat, we're talking about a complete freeze, so therefore the poison would be rendered, useless against it. Incinerate as well. Ice form is not going to be able to be touched, and great against Mephisto and any champions that do put out a huge amount of incinerate. And obviously, to kind of go back to that comic book stuff, if we're then talking about comparable against Phoenix, then that incinerate must not be as powerful in a kind of a source material comparing thesis that incinerate from that champion is going to do any damage. So that's kind of cool, nice little touch there. I don't know if they'll change that in future, or maybe they'd have to do some scientific experiments to then go, oh yes, well how much incinerate degrees do we increase Phoenix to in order to make the Iceman's melted? Don't even bother, just leave it as it is, it's fine. One thing I particularly like is the way the ice armor works, obviously with the passive ability, in that we start with 66 and 67 for an armor rating increase, which obviously is padding up that 8% that we talked about earlier in the attributes. And then obviously the loss of health means that we're going to then gain something back with regards to ice armor. And then again we've got when becoming stunned while his ice armor is active, the ice armor negates this effect, then shatters. Great. Fantastic against certain champions that, say if you're going in kind of arena and you find that the character is parrying. Even some aspects to map 5, I've kind of like Psylocke, I think on the bottom half, you kind of hit her, and because she gets parry, it means that that's going to, you know, completely throw out. So if you had Iceman, then doesn't matter. The same thing like all other kind of stun based champions, or maybe yeah, definitely stun based champions to go against. This one could be it. If you're having a real struggle, then use a champion that's going to break that kind of stun very quickly. The same way Agent Venom works with regards to his ability. Frostbite charges are going on, and that will mean that there'll be energy damage for that, coupled with heavy attacks. And this is something that will play out in the next sequence in the gameplay that you'll see. From time to time I will be putting in a heavy attack in order to kind of utilize that increased amount of damage. And you know, when I see high stacks, I'm talking that's the point to kind of do a parry and then do a heavy attack in order to kind of put out great damage. And you can see numbers like 10,000, like 5,000, all the way up to 14,000 damage. So that's pretty cool to kind of do that. So I'm looking forward to showing you that footage. For this, I'm not really going to be using the SP2 or SP3. I probably would use the SP3 a bit more based on its that increased amount of energy damage, but the kind of decision, and I could really do that in order to get the ice armor up there, but just like the idea of using constant SP1s and getting that frostbite charges up on there, and kind of like just cycling through that quickly, because it's just all about doing that quick fight, adding more damage, and increasing the amount of cold snaps and frostbites in order to then do things like heavy attacks, and also the, like I said, increased amount of energy damage in total. So without further ado, let's put him in a mutant synergy team and put him straight into work. So that has been the battle. Wasn't the most cleanest of kind of fights that I've had, but it's kind of a usual thing. Sometimes I don't have clean fights. Sometimes it's a bit scrappy. But at the same time, all I really wanted to do was kind of check out a few things with regards to cold snap, frostbite, heavy attacks, in order to do that large amount of damage. And we're seeing some great numbers from that. So that was cool to utilize that. And obviously, thoughts on Iceman. He's just fantastic. He's great. I think I've got a lot more learning really to do with the champion, but I feel that he could be a great asset moving forward with a lot of more kind of difficult content that I've got. Maybe even do some stuff with Act 5 potentially. And so yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Iceman, rank 5, good choice. And yep, follow the channel, subscribe, notifications on, and follow my social media. Link is in the description below, as well as coming up here. And I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.